Hello friends, and today we are going to talk about why this technology of blockchain is needed, why we are all talking about blockchain, and why we are saying that blockchain is going to change the world. But the fact is why it is needed. Why what is the issue with the current system that we need the technology like blockchain to proceed further in a progressive manner. So so before going into detail, I will just quickly touch upon the definition of blockchain. So blockchain is a shared immutable ledger. So when we say shared, so it is shared across the network. When we say immutable, so it cannot be edited, nobody can tamper it, nobody can delete any data, nobody can edit it or change any data. So historically the data is protected, and it facilitates the process of recording transactions, tracking assets. So assets could be intangible or tangible in the given network. So it could be a business network, a private network, or a public network. So that's the definition of blockchain. So if we further want to look at it, so what kind of assets it could protect? So it could protect tangible assets or intangible assets. When we say tangible assets, it is physical assets. And when we say the intangible asset, it could be something which is not physical, which could be, say, patent is an example of intangible assets. So that was just a quick definition of blockchain. If you want to understand the concept of blockchain, so I have already published one video about it, and you can look it, and the link is given in the description. So now we will talk about why this technology of blockchain is needed, why everybody is talking about it, what is the issue with the current system and all. So when we say, so as we have discussed the definition, that it is a shared and immutable ledger, so which means that it is not owned by anybody, there is no central authority which owns it, and it is immutable, nobody can edit it. So once in entire human history, currently we are in a stage where the element of trust, the institutional trust, it's at its low end, and then where we don't have much of trust in the system, where we feel that the evidence could be tampered. In such a situation, if we have a technology where no evidence, no transaction can be tampered, then that adds an element of trust in the system, and that is why blockchain is becoming so important. So if we go and trace the origin, so considering the current nature of, say, economic and business transactions which are happening all over the world, what we need is an efficient, a cost-effective and reliable and secure system to execute the financial transactions. So historically, if we see currently the instruments of trust are, say, banking checks, credit card, or the letter of credit, or the entire products which are being given by the banking system. So these are the instruments of trust. Now, what is the problem with all these instruments? So it's taking a lot of time when we have to execute the transactions using these instruments. Also, these are not very cost effective, but still these are the instruments which have arrived in the Web 2.0 era of the internet. So if you want to understand what is Web 1.0, what is Web 2.0, and what is Web 3.0, you can look at the another video which I have already published. So why this banking system has emerged as such a strong system is because of the emergence of, or the existence of, internet. Because of internet, the banking system has improved, and then because of that, today we could execute transactions all over the globe. But when you see this process of current banking system, so suppose if you have to buy something, say from if you are in say a country like China, and then you want to sell something in a country like US. So what happens? How the financial transaction flows. So once the order is booked, so the person in US who is the customer would send message or put up a request with the bank in US saying that I want to transfer so and so amount against so and so transaction to the person in China who is the seller. So the bank in US would transmit that message. We have a system called SWIFT system, would transmit that message to the central bank, or which is a bank which is managing the international transaction. So there is a central authority, and then from that the same message is being transmitted to the bank in China where the seller has his account, or seller might not have his account, but that is the bank where which has got a tie-up or which is part of SWIFT network. So from there, that bank will again transmit same message to the bank where seller has an account, and then that bank will transmit message to the seller that okay, we have received so and so funds from so and so person from US, and then you need to verify the identity and then verify rest of the transaction details. So if you see, there is a lot of redundancy in this system. Same message is being transmitted from say one stakeholder to the another, to the another, to the another, and then it reaches the final person. So it's taking a lot of time, it's consuming a lot of cost because there are too many people, too many institutions, too many parties which are involved, and there is a lot of redundancy in this system. But still it is working fine today, and the current system is something that we need as on date. But still it has got its own shortcoming in terms of cost, in terms of speed, in terms of redundancy. And here, to solve all these problems, we have got a technology called blockchain, which has got a shared network, not owned by anybody, but still immutable ledgers where transactions can be recorded. So imagine if a transaction has to be same transaction has to be done through a blockchain network. The seller, the buyer can directly transmit money to the seller, and there won't be any other parties involved. So the time and cost of transaction is much lesser once we have a blockchain based banking system working. So that's the reason why this is something, this is a system which is something which will solve a lot of problems, not only of the banking system but similar other systems where we need to have similar element of trust, and where we need similar system where the evidence could not be tampered. So with this, based on the blockchain technology, the first ever product which came to market was the Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is a digital currency which was invented in 2009. It was invented by a person called Satoshi Nakamoto. I guess it's a pseudonym. I'm not aware of it, but I guess it is a pseudonym. So what happens with Bitcoin, that it is not having any central monitoring authority, and it needs to be mined. So how it is mined? So we need a lot of softwares, a lot of computing power to solve the mathematical puzzle to mint the Bitcoin. So we'll discuss about it more in the upcoming videos, but this is a kind of a video which is just explaining on the basics of the things. Since Bitcoin is the first product, so Bitcoin is not a blockchain. Bitcoin is one of the product which is built based on the technology which is called as blockchain. So blockchain is the parent technology, and Bitcoin is just one product which is built on that technology. So I guess with all these things, you might have understood that why people are talking about this new technology which is blockchain, why it is kind of a hype in the market. So it's not actually a hype, but it's something which is futuristic, something which is needed in the economy, and that is the reason why everybody is working on it, everybody is talking about it. And let us see how we roll up into the future, how all these things roll up into the future. So it would be interesting to understand and track this, to study these things, and that is why I thought I would just share with all of you as an introductory part that why is blockchain technology needed. If you could imagine, so not only the banking transactions, but there could be a lot many other transactions, say e-commerce transactions, mobility, IoT based transactions would get more efficient and more cost effective and more reliable with the blockchain technology. So there would be many more applications of this technology which would come up in future. That's something which everybody should learn and understand to have a futuristic career. So to understand more about the blockchain, various things about it, I have created this playlist, so you can stay tuned and keep on watching these videos. I will also request you to subscribe to my channel so that you would get the notification as and when the new videos are released. And you can also like these videos so that I would understand that the content which I am publishing is something which is of your interest. Also, you can post your questions in the comment section so that I'll understand what are your requirements, and accordingly I can prepare more videos based on the questions that you have in the comment section. So stay tuned and see you again. Bye.